On this production, our scenic designer, Professor Zertan Lim, he was given a guidelines or a direction to head by the director, Jessica Hillman McCord, and he was able to take that guidance and direction and come up with the set that you can see around us. He then implemented that into draftings and drawings that our technical director, Christopher Dake, was able to take and bring to the shop to make the scenery actually come to life, to have a physical acting space to work within.
The main premise of the show is kind of like the tribe took over during load-in of another show. So we have a couple ladders on skates. We have a built scaffold unit that we assembled and put up to the height that we wanted for the show. All these orchestra crates are just stud wall platforming. None of them move, even though they look like they can. They're all hollow inside. One of the stipulations of these crates was we needed them for prop storage, so as you can see the backs are all open. Actually, this is one of the traps we took out of the stage. It's being stored. We make our way stage right here. See more props, some astronaut helmets, another trap plug. And then if you look up behind you, we have our painted drop, built and painted here at Fredonia. It's actually a kabuki drop, and it's run off of one of our dimmers downstairs, so it's controlled by our EOS lighting board. Stage right trap, right here. This leads down into our light shop. We'll head down there next. Here, center stage, we have a lift that leads about 6.5 feet down into our light shop onto our piano dock. We have our linear actuator locking system, which locks it in place. Here's our counterweight arbor. And today we're working on, we'll be motorizing the elevator. Should be pretty fun. Other than that, if you want to come this way, you can see the underside of the other pit trap. We can probably head right back up out of here. Quick little tour. Lot going on. One thing you guys can't see right now is we do have 3 full stage snow bags from about mid stage to downstage. It snows for about 10 minutes at the end of the show. It will be a fully automated effect at the grid.
And then our designers had some challenges to work within the fact that this is such an open set and an open concept. Our lighting designer, Justin Petito, he had to work with the space that he has the entire theater to light. He doesn't just have a little scene and we're set locations. We have a whole theater to light and to change the feel for about 50 songs.
As the lighting designer, I control everything that illuminates on stage, essentially. I decide where the lights go, I decide what color they're going to be, I decide what angle they're going to be pointing at, I decide when they're going to be on, when they're going to be off, what intensity they're going to be at, you know. And that gives me a lot of control over what stage pictures, other than the scenery, that the audience will see. Pretty much anything the audience sees that isn't a physical object on stage, I'm controlling. It's the biggest show I've ever worked on to date, and it probably will be for the longest time. We have 385 things that we are controlling as a lighting team here, and a lot of those items, such as moving lights, scrollers, have hundreds of parameters, so we've got a lot going on. Put it to perspective, we have 325 dimmers in this space and we only have 16 left. And that's a record for this show that has never been done here before.
Costumes in this production, done by Noel O'Day, has been another challenge because the characters go through a sequence where they're under the influence of some hallucinogenic drugs, and they come in as varying characters throughout the production within a short amount of time. They're astronauts, they're natives, they're Indians, they're all sorts of different things, having to run around and quickly change into these different characteristics.
There's one really big scene in the show that's a pretty pivotal point, I guess, and these are some of the costumes from them. I don't want to give too much away, but this is something suggesting Aretha Franklin or, you know, a Tibetan monk and George Washington. There's a lot of crazy characters in this specific scene that I think will be a lot of fun and look really great on stage. These are some of the costume pieces for some of the leads in the show. Sheila, the revolutionary, wears this, and a lot of the stuff, I was actually really lucky to find stuff that I could just kind of reconstruct into a more appropriate piece for the time period. So I made this into a top for her, a caftan, I guess it is. and with the addition of belts and beads and stuff, it really helps add the hippie look. And we had this in stock too. It was just a beat up denim jacket that we cut the sleeves off of it. It had this patch on it already. We didn't have a huge full build for this show, but two of the things we made are these pants here for another one of the lead characters. We found some great fabrics that some were in stock and some we bought.
Our sound for this production is being done by a student this year. Colin Brager is our sound engineer and designer.
My job as a sound designer is to create the aural experience for the audience. It's everything from miking the orchestra and balancing the orchestra to miking every single person in the cast, balancing their voices against the other, but it also has to do with sound effects and creating the atmosphere that the characters live in. This show has 45 inputs, and that's a lot to make come out of the PA and sound the way people want to hear it. This has been a new technical challenge for me. It's been solving a lot of technical problems, allowing myself to be creative, and it's been a lot of fun.
Production as a whole has a lot of people working on it to bring it to life. There's 100+ people working just to create the environment, create the set, the show, the music, and everything. Come join us in our production and join Keisha Lewepa on stage.
Hallelujah,